So when you look at these videos, like I sent you a bunch of links of videos I dug up. I'm sure you've seen others, and they're all over now, right?
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
the thing in Minneapolis. So when you look at that, I look at it and I have a certain take on it. But what's always amazed me when I've talked to you about things like this, because we've discussed these type of things before, is that you usually have a very different perspective than what I would have expected, and that I think most people would expect. So when you look at those videos, just walk me through what your impression is. And I know you're not there. I'm not asking you to second guess them necessarily, but just when you look at it, what's your take on what you're seeing with this case with George Floyd?
Well, the first thing that I saw was that it looked good. They sat him down, they, take him to the car. That just looks, routine. Now, we don't like to use that word routine because that's, again, you're getting away from, anything could happen at any time. But
it's putting yourself to sleep if you think of routine.
Exactly.
You want to be always on your toes, right?
Right, yeah. So it's something that, but you look at it and it looks good. I kind of don't understand. I know there was some scuff, maybe some little bit of resistance there, but then it goes to that one part where he's the officer's on his, it's got his knee on his neck, or I guess it's the neck, right? Mm-hmm. So when the guy says I can't breathe, I mean, he's already cuffed. He's tapped out. He's basically said, "Hey, you got me," and I think at that point, and I know at least a couple guys that vouch for me that say, "Hey, you know what? You've been there in that situation and slowed me down." Same thing with it's just in anything else, having to drive fast past the speed limit because you want to get there. If you don't, there's no saying don't become part of the problem, or don't get there where I'm coming to help you out and I'm speeding through and I'm burning these intersections, blowing those red lights. I get into an accident. Well, now I just caused somebody else some issues, or myself, and then I was no good to you. So anyhow, the guy, said, I'm not in his brain. I don't know what he was thinking. Obviously, he probably wasn't thinking, but he certainly, it's not something that that any normal, any person in their right state of mind is any officer in their right state of mind is going to deliberately do. I just cannot see that. And when you play it over and over and you see that, and it's like, what are you thinking? That's was it 9 minutes?
Yeah, he was on him for like 3 minutes after he was or 2 minutes after he was non-responsive. He was on him for
Okay, so you ask yourself what you trying to think from that his perspective. What are you thinking? There's no fight anymore. There's this guy. Okay, he did what he did. Whatever it was, I think it was passing counterfeit bills or something.
Yeah, or a check. It's kind of cloudy. I haven't got good at it's either a counterfeit 20 or a bad check or something like that.
Yeah, and I've been a little busy this past few days, so I haven't sat down and just listened to the meat and potatoes.
One of the things about it, and this is what I see when I look at it. You have they got him out of the car, and like you say, it looks standard operating procedure, right? They got him out of the car. They take him over. They sit him down against the sidewalk for a while, get his information. Then they walk him across the street. And all of that's coming from the video cameras of a store, the security cameras from a store right there. And that guy released that footage himself on the internet, the owner of the store. That's where that footage came from. The authorities of Minneapolis asked him not to, and he did anyways. But here's one issue I had with this. It cuts off right when they get him to the car, and he's on the driver's side, which is the sidewalk side of that car across the street, which is the cop car. And then we don't have any footage of what happens, or at least I haven't seen any yet, of any footage of what happens from that point, how he ends up on the opposite side of that car laying on the ground.
Yeah, I saw the little bit of it looked like you could see his legs shooting out towards the street, and then and then you see the other scene where he's on his neck. Okay, so regardless, there's not only that guy's on his neck. There's two other policemen holding his whole body down.
There's because you can't see it from the one angle, but they have another lady that was filming with her phone and facing like the back of those officers, and then you see there's actually 3 cops that are holding him down, not just the one.
Right. Yeah, and there's just no, this guy could have done the most heinous crime there is. He's already, you've got him under control, and you got to hurry up and slow down. Okay, we've got him. Let's, probably the best thing to do is get him up, stick him back in that patrol car, or at least have him sit down. If he's kicking the doors or causing damage to the police car, then you call a wagon.